guys, it's Jessica from Peace Up Books, and today I'm here with a TBR video that's just books in this genre I really want to read. I was looking through some comments in some of my latest videos, and someone mentioned how they miss how much I used to read new adult, and I've noticed I've been reading a lot of the same genres lately, specifically historical romance, and I know I don't talk a lot about the genres I know a lot of you came to love on my channel, and one of them is dark romances, and now I think I'm really outgrowing new adult, but I love dark romances, and I was thinking about how I haven't read a dark romance in a while and how I miss dark romances, and the ones that I've been reading are a little too dark for me, which I never thought I would say, but I recently read Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin and absolutely loved it. It was a dark historical romance. The last two Tilly Cole books I read, I'll show them here, were too dark for me, so I just want to go back to the dark romances I love, and obviously the #1 book on this list is Nightfall by Penelope Douglas. This is book 4 in the Corrupt series. The Corrupt series is a dark romance, and it follows 4 guys who are the 4 horsemen, and they pretty much wreak havoc, have really unhealthy relationships, and they do bad things. They have a history together, and the 4th book is the most misunderstood character, or like the character we know the least from. I mean, maybe Damon's the most misunderstood character, but Will, I feel like he obviously is the last one to get his own book, but he's the one I feel like we don't know anything about, so I'm very excited for his book. The cover's gorgeous. It comes out like any day now, so this I'm definitely going to be reading and definitely going to be vlogging this. For the rest of these, I would love for you guys to tell me which ones you want me to read, and maybe I'll choose the most popular to do a reading vlog for, so I'm going to get to them. Speaking of Tilly Cole, the first one is going to be continuing on with the Hades Hangman series. I loved this first book, but I think I read it in 2017, so long ago. They're motorcycle romances and they're dark. Our heroine is kind of rescued, I guess, from a cult, and it's her sister stories are like the next books too, and Mute is the guy in here, and I think he has a stutter. If I remember correctly, he uses ASL, but I haven't read this book, like I said, in 3 years, and I never continued on with the series, even though I absolutely love this book, so I need to read the rest of these books. The next book, I have 2 Amo Jones books on this list. So the first one is Crowned by Hate, and this one is about a girl who is the president's daughter, and then she decides to marry it says the devil dressed in a $1,000 suit. That's all I know about this book. I absolutely love the cover, and it has a lot of really good reviews, so I definitely want to read this one. So the next one doesn't have a synopsis on Goodreads. It's in Peace Lies Havoc, and I was supposed to get this at a Polycon. Obviously that got canceled, and then her pre-orders were weird, and so she just returned all of them. And this one, all it says is my name is Dove Hendry, and that's all it says on Goodreads. I think it takes place at like a carnival. People say it's crazy and wild and dark. So I like not knowing anything about my books, so that's why I want to read this one. The next one is Ruthless Princess by Rachel Van Dyken. This is book 1 in the Mafia Royal series, and this cover is absolutely gorgeous, and all it says, it's a mafia romance about best friends turned enemies. And I know people love books where they're like friends to enemies to lovers, and this is that, so I'm very excited for this. I don't know anything else about it. I don't really want to know anything else about it, but I like Rachel Van Dyken, but I've never read a dark romance from her, so I'm excited to see how this one turns out. Okay, so the next one's actually book number 0 in this series, so if you've read it, let me know if I have to read this or book 1 first. It says this is a standalone, so I don't know if it's necessary to read this. It's Cruel Prince by Rena Knight, and it is part of the Royal Elite series, their high school new adult romances, and this one says he's like king of the school, and everybody like bends and breaks for him, and she says he thinks he broke me, but the new princess will bring the king to his knees. So a lot of them like to be very dramatic like that in their summaries, and I never know what they mean, but this one has really high ratings, so it has 4.18 star rating on Goodreads and over 3,000 reads. So I was seeing this book everywhere, I've seen this author everywhere, so I really want to give this a try. The next one I want to read is really the series. That's The Professional and The Master by Kresley Cole. I think there might be book 3, I don't know. All I know is these are mafia romances, and Lacey from Lacey Book Lovers really loves them. I think she likes book 2 better than book 1, but I think you have to read them in order. But I want to read them because they're mafia romances, and I like mafia romances, and that's why it's on my TBR. The next one's by an author I love. That's Sweet Temptation by Cora Riley. This is an arranged marriage, mafia, romance standalone. And so our main character, Guy, he's part of the mafia. He's got 2 kids. His wife had died. He needs a new wife. And every marriage in the mafia family is an arranged marriage. And so this girl who's very young, I'm assuming she's 18, he said she's just of age and she marries him. And so she's a sweet temptation for him. So I think they end up actually liking each other. I'm assuming there's an age gap. I love Cora Riley. This is a standalone, which I haven't read by her. I've only read the first 2 books in her other mafia series. So I'm excited to read something from her and I really want to read this one. The next one is more like high school noodle kind of romance, and that is The Pier and the Puppet by B.B. Reed. I did try to read a B.B. Reed book and I don't remember which one it was. It's the one with like the guy in the hoodie on the cover with, it's like blue font, Fear Me, I think. That was way too dark for me. I could not do it. I like dark romances except I draw the line when the hero does anything morally questionable towards the heroine. So like when it comes to consent, I can't. So in that one, he was awful and I was like, I'm sorry, he's too bad. But this one, hopefully he's not like that, is she has to move across the hall from him in his house. I think her mom's new boyfriend like helps them out, and so she moves in with them, and then he's like determined to hate her and he's like acting all bad and he's not. And she's after him. So I don't know. They all sound the same, but I want to read them all. The next one I've heard a lot of good things about from you guys. That's Crow by A. Zavarelli. This one, he is a mobster and he's Irish and he's very attractive, and our main character knows that he's her only lead to, I think, the disappearance of her best friend, and so she needs his help or like talk to him about it, and I think they kind of like each other. So I'm excited to read this. I've owned it for a while and I haven't gotten to it yet, but I want to. And the last one, I'm not sure how dark it is, but like when I'm looking on Goodreads, people say it's dark, but I don't know how I can trust people on Goodreads when some of them might not be dark romance readers, so they say something's dark and it might not be. I don't know. It's The Siren by Tiffany Rice. This one, our main character is a writer, and I think like this guy is her editor and like takes her manuscript and makes her rewrite it and rework it, and they do things along the way. People said it's dark, but I don't know if it is. I know Tiffany Rice writes some dark things, so we'll see how I feel about this one. I know people love it. Another classic that I haven't read, so there's that. And those are some dark romances on my TBR. Let me know down below which ones you think I should read right away, which ones you would want me to read in a reading vlog. I would love to hear it, and if there's any dark romances that are not on this list that you really want me to read, let me know and I will look them up and see if I want to read them or not. But that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.